Hey guys, Dave and Len here. Welcome to Wargame Chat. We got a different topic than usual here. We're going to talk about battles that we like, but here's a caveat. You've probably never heard of them. First battle we're going to have here is one of Alexander's battles, and I put the word battle in quotations because there was no fighting and no one was killed. So you're saying, well, how could it be a battle? Well, just listen. I saw a YouTube video about this last year, and I watched it several times because I was so amazed. Last night I was trying to gather more information on the battle. I just can't find that video anymore. I couldn't find any articles about this battle, so I'm going by memory here, so it might be a little flawed, might be a little off, but you'll get the general idea. Essentially, I don't even know who the enemy was. It might have been the Persians or maybe the Afghans. I'm not sure which of the two. But essentially, Alexander the Great was on the march, and somehow he got tricked into entering through this narrow pass, and he had no idea there was hills on the other side, so he brought his force through this narrow pass, and then he realized he was surrounded on by 90% of his forces were completely surrounded by hills. But here's the problem. Once he got in there, the enemy showed themselves on the hills, and they had Alexander completely outnumbered, so he really only had three options. The first option is he would charge uphill and try, which was on broken terrain with his phalanx, and which would become disorganized, and he would lose. Or he would try to exit through the narrow pass and get ambushed on two sides and lose quite a bit of troops. Or three, try to bribe his way out. Well, those are the three options most generals would have thought they had, but Alexander thought outside of the box, so he did something no one would have even dreamed of doing. He had his army start drilling in front of the enemy, and his army was the best drilled army the world had ever seen. And the enemy was just shocked at how well drilled and how well trained the Macedonians were, so they lost heart and they fled the battlefield. So he turned a certain defeat into a victory without even fighting. So I think that's Alexander's greatest battle. I apologize, I don't know the name of it. There might not even be a name to it because it's not really a battle, but what do you got, Len?
Okay, I got two of them, two examples. One is the Long March of the 2nd Marine Raider Battalion. On November 6, 1942, 2nd Marine Raiders under command of Evan Carlson were given the assignment of clearing all the enemy west of Henderson Field. The area was about 18 miles long in a straight line, but of course this is a jungle. He advanced deep into enemy territory, ambushed, captured, and destroyed so many supply dumps. In addition, he destroyed the artillery guns that were bombarding Henderson Field. And for about a month he lived behind enemy lines, living off their food and also airdrops too. This is the first time any American force had ever been like a long-range penetration force. And the end result is the U.S. lost 16, while the Japanese lost about 488.
Oh, wow.
And the thing is, this gets overlooked because there's so many great battles in the Guadalcanal campaign. You know, things like Edson's Ridge and Tolugi and a few others. That this month-long march was decisive, and some historians claim that after it was done, the Japanese made the decision to leave Guadalcanal. And you can understand why, because now they saw the Americans now could fight in the jungle. They could move through the jungle, they could fight through the jungle. This was a lost battle. The second one is a battle, one of the most decisive battles in American history, but it seems to be forgotten. First of all, the enemy was the Comanche tribes, who at one point controlled 15% of the continental landmass, and at the time was large enough that if they expanded, they could actually split the United States in two. The forces under Roland Mackenzie, better known as Bad Hand because he lost a few fingers during the American Civil War, was assigned to break the Comanche power. And after a couple of years of campaigning, they finally got enough experienced scouts who could work with the U.S. cavalry. It was one thing to find the Comanches. They were very mobile, and they were based in the area called the Llano Estacado, a large plateau, the largest in the continental United States. And the days before, without aerial reconnaissance, there were many canyons they could hide in. And so the scouts had tracked them to Pablo Duro Canyon, and on September 28, 1874, Mackenzie attacked. In a few hours, they routed the Comanches. Now, I have to admit that the battle in which the enemy only lost 15 people, and the United States, well, they had one guy wounded. Doesn't seem decisive, but you got to understand, we captured their all their winter supplies and their pack and their herd of horses, which we all killed. It was brutal. So as a result of that, the Comanches started filtering back to the reservation. Because of this battle, the Comanche tribe felt defeated, and they were accepting would turn against warfare against the nation and become a peaceful tribe.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all we got, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.